Morning, everybody. My name is Coffee Brown, and this YouTube channel is called Coffee Spills the Tea. Today is Monday, May 24th, or sorry, March 24th, 2025. So happy Monday to everyone. I know Mondays aren't the funnest time in the world after you've had especially a good weekend, or maybe if you had a bad weekend and maybe starting off your Monday isn't the funnest thing. But let's try to make the best of it. What is this channel about? It's about, hey, we are, as Black women, just doing a lot to help everybody around us. And sometimes we don't have the peace of mind that we'd like to have. So I started vlogging about this and just the things that I can do to help you and just show by example the things that I'm doing to help myself. And when I know I can do better for myself and by myself, then I can help the people around me. Today, we're going to talk about money updates. So I had talked with all of you since the first day that I started about the things that I was doing to try to just change out my life financially. And so I gave specific things that I had been doing, and I hope that you've been doing them too. And I'm going to show you how I've made thousands at this point, not thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, but almost $3,000 that I've had so far. And if you follow what I said, hopefully you're going to get that goal too. And I have many more thousands that are coming to me that I know are coming down the pipe. It's not get rich quick schemes. They're not like things that you're going to do to make thousands of dollars per month. It's just things that are already around you that you may not have been aware of. And so I brought those things to light to you over the last I would say, since I started making these videos. So I'm just going to kind of run through these things, and hopefully if you're doing the same, you're having the same success that I have. Let me start with the things that are the tangible money things. Well, they're all tangible, but let's start with the easy things. Oh, and let me just do this. I'm going to put a calculator up here too, so that you can see the money and the changes that I've made so that you can see like for real, like what is this money? So I'm going to start off with when I was first starting out in the very, very beginning. I said, you know what? I'm just done with Christmas. I'm done with selling or doing all this Christmas decorations. And you know what? For me, decorating is a big thing. I love doing Christmas decorations, Halloween decorations. Halloween, they usually will have contests and whatever. I usually win. So I have a lot. Um, and so I slowly sold off a lot of my Christmas stuff that I had pulled out of storage, and we'll talk about storage stuff. And I made about $900. That's just from selling all of my stuff just in tens and 20s and 30s and 50s and $80 here and $50 there, and just sold everything. So I'm going to just put that down. And in fact, I'll be conservative and I'll say $850. So I'm going to be conservative about that. So 850. So I closed out my storage, and I'm not going to count that because I've been paying almost $400 a month. But it made me kind of upset because when I was like sitting down and thinking about it, like, yeah, I thought I needed those things that are in storage, but when it came down to it, do I actually need them if I'm not going out there? And my advice to you is if you have a storage, uh, get rid of it. If you have things in your attic, maybe it's time for you to clean out your attic, because doing that helped me to make money, and it actually helped me to save money. Now, what I mean by tangible is like by closing down that storage, I really, it's just money I don't have to spend. So I'm not going to count that $400 a month. Not going to count it. But what was in the storage, which was what surprised me, first I found money, like just money. And so just off of like the cash that I found, plus I found euros, I found like Hungarian dollar or whatever they call it. I found I found like different denominations of money, just places I'd been, Cambodia, Vietnam, all that stuff. It's about $200. And so I was just like, okay. The good thing is when I ready to go to Europe, I've got that money. I already have some money sitting around. And plus, once I move to Europe, then my plan is to go anytime I need any kind of medical procedures or medical issues. I'll be going to Southeast Asia. That will be another conversation on what you can do, but that's after I get there. And so I'm going to say, I'll say conservatively $200. So I'm going to just put that in there. So 850 plus the $200. Now we're up to 1,050. Okay, no, I have not been able to, I haven't started to look at the jewelry that I found in there, and I'm not going to be worried about that right now. I'm not really knowing how much I'm going to sell of it. If I am, I'm not a jewelry person other than these little sad rings I have on my fingers. I like those, but I have some gold rings with diamonds, and I'd forgotten about that. And I have like just a straight gold bracelet, not a thin one. It's a little chunky. And I was just like, okay, I had forgotten that I had purchased that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about that. I have two Salvador Dali paintings. One of them has been authenticated correctly with the correct name, comes from the lithograph of, I think it's called Purgatory. One, they sent me the picture, and because I purchased it in Italy and they shipped it back, they put the wrong certificate of authenticity. So it's not possible for me to be able to correct that unless I go find the person with the lithograph and have them correct it. And maybe when I get to Italy, I'll do it. I'm still not gonna sure what I'm gonna do about that. I may just take it back to Italy and just have them correctly appraised. I'm putting those off to the side. I do know that they have worth. I've looked them up online. They do have worth. Art has worth. And many, many years ago, someone said, art always will appreciate in value. And so if you have an opportunity to buy art, not crappy art, but real art, go out and get it. I almost bought an unsigned Picasso. I'm glad I did not, because I talked to someone at Christie's and they said, well, if it's an unsigned Picasso, it's worth nothing. So I was glad that I didn't get the Picasso and instead I got the two Salvador Dalis. I'm not going to count that. We're talking about money. So let me move on. Then I got home and I was just like, let me do some spring cleaning. I literally found $60. I found 320s tucked away under a keyboard. And I was just like, okay, I have 320s. So while I was like, unpacking, and I was like, let me clean. So I found three $20 bills. So I'm going to count that as well. So let's count it plus 60. And so now we're up to $1,110. Okay. So let me get back to it. I have, as you can see here, my shelving unit is coming along nicely. I'm going to start to sell those next weekend, things on those shelving units. And what do I have? Like these things probably here, like everything that I have, I'm probably, I'll probably make about $1,000. I'll let you know. We're gonna work on that. But I have things, these two boxes here are like never been open. I have boxes down here at the bottom, never been open. Boxes over here, never been open. I bought things where I buy it and then I just never open it and I never use it. So, I'm going to be selling them in like brand new condition. I have a work cart that's like a two-story work cart, heavy duty. Never used it. I have like a heavy duty cart for like you can use it for shopping, but you can use it for pretty much anything. It also has like the kind of wheels that go up and down the stairs. Um, Never even opened it. There's just yeah, those are going to be sold. I have this painting here from the Palmer House Hilton in Chicago. It's from, I think, either the late 1800s or early 1900s. And I tried to send it back to them, but they're just like, well, they're just kind of like, well, what does it matter to us? And I'm like, I know it has worth because I looked it up online. I took a picture of it and did a Google Lens search. And I'm like, people are selling this stuff. I'm just going to sell it because it's not important to me. I don't care. Um, but all of that I'm going to be selling. So I'll let you know in the future how much I end up selling that for. I need to get this out of the way because I have cleaning supplies because back when it was COVID, I bought cleaning supplies and toilet paper in great abundance. When I pulled everything out of storage, I found out I had so much paper, toilet paper still, that I canceled my Amazon subscription because I was having toilet paper sent to me regularly. And I was just like, okay, that is gonna, I don't need to pay to have toilet paper sent when I have a whole bunch of it. So all of that toilet paper is now downstairs. It's saving me money because, of course, I'm not having to pay for the subscribe and save anymore. But I'm not going to count that as part of that because it's not tangible money. But it's nice to have that. But the other thing that I did is I bought so much cleaning supplies. And I was like, you know what? If I buy like just an average can or bottle or whatever, I could sell that for like $5 each. And I feel very confident to say that I have at least 200 cans of like regular size, like maybe like this big, like of like cleaning supplies and never been opened. Because I just was during COVID, I was just like freaked out. I was buying stuff left and right and center. And I did pull some out and like it's in my basement to be used, but I would say, I can confidently say at least 200 bottles of like this stuff. So I'm like, if I just sell them for $5 a pop, I'll make $1,000 off of cleaning supplies right there. And a lot in my neighborhood, there's a lot of people who have housekeeping people. So I'm just going to put the word out to all those people and say, hey, if your housekeepers are looking for supplies, and I mean like things like Lysol, I bought things that will kill viruses and bacteria because I was really concerned about that. But then of course, like I only use like a fraction of it because like you just don't need to use as much as what I mean, I was buying it left and right. Anytime I saw it at the store, I just sweep it off the shelves and buy it. Crazy. And I know I got a lot of hand sanitizer, but I'm gonna donate it to um one of the dog shelters because they are in very low supply of of sanitation. They specifically said like wet wipes for the hands and hand sanitizer. So I'm gonna donate to them. So again, those are, I will let you know how that thing goes as far as selling those supplies. But I feel like there's like a couple $1,000s of just everything that I pulled out of storage. That is not going to be counted. The fun thing is right, when I was in storage, I was also originally going to just take everything and just throw it all in the trash and not even think about it. But then I thought, I don't want to do that because if there's something of value, I will be really upset if I think about it later on and I end up trashing it. The other thing is, I don't want to have my personal information in there. So I want to make sure I tear everything up and then trash it. So I had to go through everything. And I found some paperwork that I had for a bank. And I had set up a 529 for my two nephews. And it was a long time ago. Now, one of them I knew for sure I was about 90% sure that it was already closed. And I'd been in some kind of like back and forth with my sister-in-law. We weren't getting along for many years, and they had it real good, and they had their own plans going. And so I was just like, I don't need to do anything with this 529. I emptied it out. I was pretty sure. But the other one, I was like, what is this other account? And I look and it's my other nephew. And I was just like, I don't know. And I was going to toss it. I brought the paperwork home and then I was looking at it and I was going to toss it. But I was like, no, 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 no. Let me just call. And this bank by now has turned into another bank because, banks spurge over the years or whatever. So I called them up. I had put like maybe 50, $100 in. And I was like, do I have any money in these two accounts? The first one they confirmed, there's nothing in there. And I was like, okay, I see, because I had the paperwork showing, please close these accounts. So I've written it out. But the second one, they're like, yeah, you actually have $640 in the second account. And I'm thinking, cha-ching, okay. So I asked them, well, can I liquidate this account? And they were like, sure, you can just send a check straight to you or to your nephew. I was like, send it to me because my nephew's doing fine. He is doing phenomenally well. He works for and as a contractor doing software development, and he's getting ready to go into the military. He's doing perfectly. So he is not even like him, this is just like, what is that? That's like dinner and a meal for me when I go out with my wife. So I was just like, yeah, send it to me. And so they were like, okay, when it gets, we're gonna have you do a dress change. You have to wait 10 days and then you can go in and you can request it. So I requested that on Friday last week. I requested them to close the account out and send it to me. Okay. So it turns out that the check arrived and it ended up being $635. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that here. That was this check. And so I don't think you guys could see that. So I'm gonna put that in. So that was $635 plus 635. It arrived today. They were really fast. So now I'm up to $1,745. Okay. Now, the other check that I received was, as I told you, told all of you, I contacted the states, all the states. I went online and I just typed in unclaimed cash, state of like wherever, whatever states I had lived in. And so I had lived in 4 states. 2 of them were like brief. And I was like, I know I'm not going to find anything there. 2 of the states I lived in for substantial periods of time. And I was just like, maybe there's going to be something there. So unclaimed property or unclaimed assets, whatever state, Oklahoma, Missouri, New York, Chicago. I mean, not Chicago, that's Illinois, California, wherever you have lived, you want to do that. In fact, I think you should do it for all 50 states because here's what. If there's a relative that dies and the money is just sitting there, you could actually get that money. So I think you should check all 50 states just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to check all 50 states and see if there's money that's unclaimed. And I'm not only going to do it for me, I'm going to do it for all my sisters and my brother and make sure that there's no outstanding money that's sitting out there. And I will tell them that I'm going to do it. And if they're like, oh, you're crazy, then I'll say, I'll tell you what, if I find anything, why don't we do this? Give me a 10% commission for finding you any money if I go through all 50 states. And they probably will do that. But anyway, let's get back to me. So I got a word back from state Illinois. What's one of my states, they were like, yeah, we got something for you. I had worked at the Y, and I didn't get my checks, my final checks. And so I was just like, okay. And I didn't realize how many checks. I thought it was just one. It turns out it was several checks. So they sent me, one of my states sent me 100 and I think $68. So I'm going to put that in there. Plus 168. Okay. So now we're up to $1,913. And I haven't done anything ill-gotten. All I did was clean out my closets and look for things. Okay. The other state, I get a little message back, like pops up on the screen when I put in my name and just first and last name and like I think like a zip code or something. And it says that I have like 4 things. 2 of them were like less than the value of $50. Then it says 2 of them are over the value of $50. And one of them was like stocks. And I'm like, stocks? And I'm thinking I would not be surprised because I've worked for businesses before where, they would say, oh, we're going to give you a little stock. And so, I wouldn't be surprised if the business went under, the stock is sitting there, they've liquidated stock and they just don't know how to get in touch with me. I'm not very good at always changing my addresses. So I'm thinking, it's probably a couple $100, whatever. And I got that check, and that check was $912 and just some odd cents. So that was this check. So I'm gonna see if I can't show that one to you. Nope, that's not coming up over very well either. But that's my second one. So it was $912 from the state. Department of the Treasury for my state. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in, plus $912. So we're up to $2,825. $2,825. So I was thinking, okay, pretty much I can focus on just studying for the month. I don't have to worry about a job right now. I've kept my expenses down. The boycotts are working as far as like, not shopping at like Walmart and Target and Amazon. But the flip side of that is that I'm realizing how much money I was spending on things. And as you know, like these boxes aren't even open. How much money am I spending that's just going out the door for nothing? Ladies, I read an article that said that you could have up to $20,000 just in stuff sitting around your house. And this is what's happening. If you have storage, close it. Go to your storage, go through everything, pull trash, those compactor bags, pull them out and bring them with you to storage and close out your storage. And anything that you can't, that you're like, you know what, I don't see value in it, don't throw it away. You bring it to like a thrift store or some kind of nonprofit like Salvation Army or something and get that little receipt that they give you because that receipt is money. That's money that you can use at tax time. You itemize like what you donated and you put an estimate of the cost. And then when time comes for taxes, when they say, how much have you donated? You can go right back to that receipt and you can say, yeah, I like what I did. I took all the clothes that were like nice clothes that still had tags on it, that were designer clothes and things like that. And I donated it to this place for women who are coming out of prison and don't have anything except the clothes on their back, or they just are starting out. Donated to them, still with tags on it. And then they were like, what's the value? I said, $5,000. They're like, okay. They gave me the receipt, $5,000. Guess what? Now when it comes time for tax time, not for 2024, because I did it in 2025, but in 2025, when I do my 2025 taxes, I'm going to be able to deduct $5,000 for that. I've got like other furniture and things that I've donated or will be donating, and I will be getting receipts for that as well. And I will make sure that I write those off at tax time. My goal is to be able to write off ten to $15,000 worth of goods that I'm going to be donating. So do that, and you're going to have a nice little chunk of money. And all you have to do is make sure that you itemize things out on those receipts and keep them safe in case they come back to you and say, you couldn't possibly have donated that much money. Like you're making it up. Well, I've got the receipts to prove it. And of course, we already know the thrift stores don't like put it like if I gave them my Samsung phone and said, "Oh yeah, it's donated," they're not going to turn around and say it's going to be they're going to sell it for a penny. They're going to turn around. This is a nice phone. It's a S22 or whatever. They're going to turn around and sell this for like $300. So yeah, if I say it's worth $300, then or then whatever that prove it. Prove it's not worth $300. That's what they sold it for. It will all come out in the wash. So I do have much more money. As I said, that $2,825, which is almost $3,000. It's almost $3,000, ladies, in tangible money that I have received that I am able to like do things with, like pay bills and whatever. I'm not going to work this month. I'm just going to focus on my AI studies so I can start working to become an AI consultant. So, and for you, like maybe you're just like, you know what, I'd like to pay out on some bills. I'm going to talk with you later on because again, with me kind of like not being employed right now, I got I contacted my electric company because I was just like, I'm just really struggling here. It started off as like saying, can we work on just making sure that like I'm under the budget plan? And then once I was like that, then they were like, are you having some issues with your heating and air conditioning units? And I said, yeah. And they're like, you know what? We can help you with that. We can take care of it. What? And they're like, yeah, do you have any income coming in right now? I said, no. They're like, okay. They just sent out somebody from one of these heating and electric places, and he fixed it. He got a part and he fixed it. it's running now. I was just like, this is the first time all winter. Again, this is not tangible, so I can't really calculate the cost of that, but it's saving me money. And I can now focus on keeping my peace of mind and focus on what I'm really trying to do, which is the end game, which is getting into IT and getting into a viable field that's not going anyplace. Where I can have a job with longevity, where I can earn good money. I want to go into IT, which I am in right now, but it's just a little slow. And I want to go into AI, which is really hot right now. And yeah, now I feel like much better and I can do this. I can buckle down for a month and I don't have to worry, maybe longer, because that's a lot of money to me. And I have more money in my savings account that I wasn't even thinking about. Or I was thinking about, but I don't have to think about it now. I can keep it for like the next month. So technically I might be able to go a couple of months without having to worry about payments. And that is even better. So, ladies, if you are sitting there and you're saying to yourself, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm not saying sell your TVs and then, like, you don't have a TV, or sell your computers and you don't have computers. I'm talking about selling things that you don't need, selling things that are going to be of value to other people, and also being safe as you're doing it. Because I didn't like, I went to my Facebook page where my neighbors are. We all kind of know each other, or everyone knows everyone else, or something like that. But I also have a Ring camera. And so when people are coming over and I say I'm going to sell something, I have them ring the doorbell. And so now it's recorded. And then, like, I say, who is it? And they state their name, and that's also being recorded. And then they can come in and it's okay, the transaction will happen. If you're someone that lives in like a sketchier neighborhood or something, advertise to sell your things and bring it maybe to that other person if you're able to. And maybe you can arrange to have that be like a mutual meetup, like where you can meet up in like someplace like across the street from a police station, or over at like a grocery store, like you meet someone in a grocery store in the parking lot, by the front door, by the car, or something along those lines. So be safe when you're doing that too, because you don't want to just be like throwing your doors open and somebody's like, like threatening you, and now your peace of mind is destroyed. I feel very fortunate that I live in a place where people at this point, they do know me or know of me. And so I'm going to continue to sell all of my things with those shelving units that I got out of my storage until everything is gone. And then I'll report back. But I do hope that all of you are taking the same type of action that I'm taking. Sell the things that you don't need, get rid of all the things you don't need. What do they say? A cluttered space is a cluttered mind. Free your mind. Like the In Vogue song. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Unless you're living, no, I don't want to go there. I mean, the woman living in her car is just crazy and awful. And that's just clearly she's got, she's not okay. And I really do wish her well. But as far as the In Vogue song, free your mind and the rest will follow, that should be your mantra. Start looking around. It takes a bit of effort, and don't think that everything's going to happen overnight and that it's just like, oh, the money's just going to windfall in, because it doesn't windfall in. I had to do like a lot of like running around. I had to do a lot of like moving things around, and I had to do a lot of talking to people, advertising to people. I had to do a lot of that stuff. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but um it will happen. In fact, here's the funny thing is right before I got on, I found another, and I know this is like not like I am rich girl, but I found another $20 that I don't know why. I just tuck little money away here and there, probably for rainy days, but I found $20 underneath my keyboard. I don't know why. I just like take money and I'll fold it up and I'll just put it in weird places and then forget about it. And maybe it's because it makes me feel like, yay, when I find money, like I have money. And so, maybe that could be something that you can do. Like after you've gotten all your finances under control, you sold everything out, maybe what you can do is just take some, if you have like a spare 20 or spare 5 or spare 10, take it and tuck it into your cushions, or put it in your coat pocket, or put it like in the deep recesses of your purse. And then when the time comes that you're like ready to sell, or not ready to sell, like you're doing some cleaning and you find it, it's just like a little bright spot to your day. All right. So that is it for now. I think I'll probably do another video at the end of the week because I have some other things that are cooking. And I now can go to my gym and join my gym because I said when that money gets here, I have a list. Um, yes. Okay, so when that $635 got here, I said I'm gonna go to join the gym, and because I can now afford to pay the startup fee, and then there's like a one-time fee, and then there's the monthly fee, and that's like gonna be $100. And I said that I was going to buy a laptop. Um, and yeah, probably get it. I'll probably get it because I really do need another laptop because this one is like constantly glitching, and like it'll shut down and then shut back on and then shut down and shut back on. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a little bit of maintenance on it first to see if I can get it fixed and whatnot. But if I can't, then I'm gonna get one. But not a normal one. I'm going to go through if you watched a previous video of mine, I have what's called Xfinity Essentials. And with my Xfinity Essentials, there is an option for me to be able to get a laptop for $150. It is a brand new laptop with 4 gigs of memory, and I think 6 gigs of like storage. It's not a lot of storage, but you don't need a lot. You could just get a cheap SSD. In fact, I found one, which I think is like I don't know how many. It's a few gigs, and I've got a few that are a few terabytes as well. And I just plug it into the new laptop and I'm good to go. So, that's what you can do when you can save money, right? Okay. So on that note, I'm going to get going so that everybody can go off and enjoy their day. But this is again Coffee Brown. My channel is called Coffee Spills the Tea. Before I go, I'm just going to ask you again, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then share this video with other women out there. I mean, other Black women out there, they need the help too. Let's help each other out. And then again, if you want to know when I'm going to get these videos up and running, hit the notification bell and hit all. And then every time I upload a video, you'll get that notification and you can check out and see what I'm up to. All right. I'm going to get going, but I hope everybody has a wonderful day, wonderful future. If you're watching this and it's not uh, March 24th, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.